Jason, it's time to build the hype machine.
Oh, good.
And we're going to take these next 10 minutes to start putting some hype out for next season. Are y'all ready to go through the hype of this next season? Let's go through the hype of next season, right? So ESPN last week dropped their FPI, which is their football power index. And a lot of you may be asking, football power index, what the heck is a football power index?
It's a weird way of ranking.
It's their weird way of ranking based upon not only strength of schedule, but the players on the roster, the coaching, the production, trying to predict the way production's going to look. There's a long list of things that ESPN throws into this. It's not perfect, but it lets you know if a team is supposed to be better than what they are. Or if they're as good as advertised. So there's a massive measurement.
Power indexes are better like that. Than just coaches that don't watch games and or reporters that watch one team.
Yeah, so. and exactly as James mentioned, a lot of in the FPI after 20,000 simulations, they do 20,000 simulations. However, they do it with their calculations. This is what they expect the team to look like by the end of the season. So this is just a predictive measure, understanding of who's who based upon rosters, and I want to talk about it. So let's go into FPI. This is the Big 12's FPI look. Now, a lot of y'all gonna be mad. Don't be, because I still think it's good stuff. But this is FPI for the Big 12. Number 1 is Texas out of the Big 12. They're number 5. Oklahoma is at 11. TCU at 17. Tech, Baylor, UCF, Kansas State at 27. So you got 22, 23, 26, and 27 where Kansas State is. 38 for Oklahoma State, which is wild to me, but they've got something there to see. 43 for Iowa State, 48 for Cincinnati, 54 for Houston, 57 for West Virginia, 60 for Baylor, and 68 for Kansas. Yes, I did name out all the new schools like BYU, Houston, Cincinnati, as well as UCF in this. But this is what, based upon the simulations and everything about these rosters, what it could potentially look like when the season ends. Jason, you had a statement. What you got?
Yeah, I don't like those last couple for sure. I think that you're going to tell me that BYU is going to be worse than Houston and they're bombing out of there as quick as they can. And then same with Okie Light. I mean, Okie Light's not the team that it was last year at all. So I don't know what they're getting there. And like Kansas, I mean, listen, the only thing Kansas needs is for their boy to stay healthy. If that quarterback stays healthy, they got a chance to win the conference.
So I'm going to say this on here. I'm very much disappointed in the Kansas rating. Kansas at 68 seems super low for me.
Insanity.
Because Jalen Daniels is a monster. And like you said, as long as he's healthy, that team is a lot better. I would have, but these all simulations, and they change. This rating changes I think it's changed every week is the way that it gets changed. So there will be an update coming. So it's probably an update now by the time you're watching this video or watching this live. And so there's a good chance that this has already changed. But I think the thing that significant jumped out to me was Texas and Oklahoma's ratings. Actually, there's 5 teams in the top 25 with UCF and Kansas State falling in at 26 and 27. And so looking at the full number, you've got, of course, Ohio State and Bama leading the way. You're still sitting with Georgia, LSU, all the teams you would expect to be there. And this is some of the stuff they look at. You've got, let me see if I can make this bigger for everybody out there. You're looking at your the power index itself and the projections based upon the divisions, percentages of winning divisions, national championships, and all of that. And honestly, Oklahoma being at 11 and being right there, a 10% chance to make the playoffs with a 24% chance to win the conference. Because them in Texas at 54, they're expected. They've got the returning starter. They got the returning team that went 8-5. Yes, we know how Texas has never lived up to their expectations, but
so that's a beautiful thing. Let them not do it again.
Yes, we would like for them to do that as well. But making the title at a 3% chance and a 1% chance to win the national championship, they're one of 2 teams, along with Penn State, to win the Natty. I think that's a pretty big deal. Projected wins losses is 9.7 wins. A lot of you have told me that you felt like this team could win at least 10 games.
Yep.
I'm there. Jason, when you see them aligned with everybody else, at least in the top 15, they've got us above Florida State, which is super fascinating. What did you think about this?
Yeah, I think it's pretty close. I mean, I'm always going to complain about some of these things, but just sticking with like Oklahoma and Texas. I feel like it's probably a matter of why is Oklahoma up as high as it is, and even over Florida State. I think it's simple. Their transfer portal use and where they got better was through the portal on defense, which is what they needed. Offense was not a concern. They were top 15 in the country already. So it's one of those deals where you start looking at that and, okay, Bothroyd comes in. You know, you've got Lacey comes in on the defensive line. Desam McCullough, freshman All-American, comes in. You know, these are just a couple of names of guys that they expect are going to make a big step. If they play somewhere, you know, anywhere close to what they should offensively, which they will. You know, you got a second year coming back for Dylan. They've got, I don't know. I just feel like it's going to be a better season offensively too. And if you get in that top 60, top 50 on defense, I mean,
we're there.
Should win 10 games, easily win 10 games. So
that's how we need.
I can see that's how you get there. I can see that's how you get there. And so overall, I mean, I just feel like I don't want to be that guy to drink the Kool-Aid too fast, because I know I kind of did last year. But looking at this schedule and looking at the moves that they made and the way that they're recruiting, you have to expect that they're going to be significantly better.
Yeah.
So
100%. And so looking at last season, this is what we ended up last season. You know that we ended up at 23rd last season.
Yeah.
In the football power index. And I think that we ended up there because we were supposed to win a lot of those games we lost at the end. You know, those 5 games of one score games that we lost that we probably should have won because we were up in
Texas
most of those
Tech
games.
Game, they freaking called a good field goal off.
Right. You got a Tech. You got the Baylor game we should have won. You got games that we should have won in those one-score games. We should have closed out. And that's the thing, is they takes into factor a lot of that stuff. At 23rd, we should have been 23rd in the country. Above team, I mean, Tulane, you know, finished up at, you know, number 25. We should have been a lot higher than what we were. And it was because our team was a lot better than the way that we ended up performing. You know, some things, you know, lean left and right. But the good thing is what we probably should have been a lot better. And so
isn't it wacky that Washington finished way behind Texas and beat them in the bowl game?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, look, Texas accumulates talent. We all know that. The problem is they never execute with the talent. Yeah. That's the difference. They accumulate the talent. They don't execute with them. We'll see what they look like this coming season. I don't know how much I believe in them yet, but I know that they still got a lot of work to do. Yeah. I mean, I call him that all the time, but I mean, you know, it's not even out of love. It's because I know that's who he is. So
it is who he is. Yeah.
Thank y'all again for pulling up. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe. If you're listening to the podcast version, rate, review, give us those 5 stars. Got to make sure I remind you all on all of that. But this is one of those where, you know, you got to just know that it exists. The hype train is going to begin. I promise you, once we get closer to August, more and more of these recruits come in, the more and more the hype train is going to be for Oklahoma. A lot of people are going to point out how we lost those games last year. I've seen Josh Pate do it. I've seen Joel Klatt do it. I've seen, hell, I've even heard Colin Cowherd say some things about that.
What?
Everybody is pointing that stuff out. And they recognize that, this team's probably going to be a lot better, and it should be a lot better now that they're 1 year under the belt. They don't have as much turnover, even though we're still going to see a lot of it, because from the last spring game, I actually just saw a sheet. Last spring game compared to this spring game, the turnover has been absurd. We almost are a new team.
Just be what, 84% turnover now?
Something like that. Yeah. We basically turned over just about most of the old regime's players. Most. We've got the receivers. Really, it's really the and
and that may change too.
So yeah, it's gonna be
This is the last day the portal's open, correct? Today's
the last day for standard players to go into the portal. Of course, graduate transfers can transfer anytime they want to because they've already got their degree. But undergrads, today's the last day. So you're going to see a lot more entries by the time you see this video and the last video talking about transfer portal players, there's going to be a ton that's going to be going in and out. So be prepared for that.